All right, guys. So today I am going to show you a couple different features of Mapright. We're going to show you how to do a boundary map, and I'm going to go over some of the features and often used overlays that we use to create a new map, whether it be for your listing agreement or your listing presentation. You're just trying to find some information about the property. You're listing photos and all things listings there. So let's hop right into it. So we use Mapright, obviously. What you're going to do is you'll log into Mapright. You will go here. This will take you to the dashboard, and you will go here over to create a new map. You will click that. If you are selling in Oklahoma or Kansas or any of these other surrounding states, you will obviously click that state and then get started. We're just going to use Oklahoma today. So once this gets loaded here, you will see it'll take you pretty much to the state that you've clicked. So I selected Oklahoma, it would take me there. So this is the starting point for your map. So if you obviously know where the property's at or have a good idea, you can zoom to it and find it your own. Or if you get a phone call and someone's saying that hey, I want you to check out my property, you could get the address from them, the section, township, range, lat long, or parcel ID, owner name, or owner address, and then you would input that here into this search bar, hit search, and then it would take you to that property directly. So this is a really cool feature, especially when you're even just trying to locate where a landowner may live or how many different parcels they have. It's just a really good tool to use up here. Over here in the top right, you have your parcels on and off. So this will give you the parcel data of an area you may be looking to sell in, or if you're trying to make sure you're on the right property, this will pull it up and it'll give you the owner's name. So for the sake of it, we would just use a random property. Let's go ahead and use this Robert Morris here. This looks like a quarter to me. So I'm going to show you how to build a Mapright boundary around this. And this is something you will do with every listing, every property you come in contact with. You will always build this map and save it in your agent folder. Super simple to do. It's just a few clicks. So once you get to the property you're looking at, which we know we are looking at this Robert Morris tract, you would click it. That parcel will turn blue to let you know you've clicked on that parcel, and then it'll bring up all this parcel information over here, and it goes through of how many acres it is on the last known survey, where the parcel is located, the town, or it'll even give you the address, owner's address. You can scroll down here, section, township, range. It'll give you the legal description. Occasionally it'll show you when that person purchased that property over in this. So it's a very cool feature to just get a little bit more information about a tract that sometimes you've never stepped foot on, or this information stuff you have to go to the courthouse and look up. So this kind of saves you some legwork there. So once you've clicked on that property, it'll pull you up, like I said, over to this parcel info. Down here at the bottom it says convert to Mapright feature. That is where you will click, and it'll bring up this little tab here. You will click this drop down. We recommend that you guys always use the dotted line boundary when it comes to creating a Mapright outline of the property. It just looks cleaner. Yeah, I mean, just the presentation of it all is just a little bit better. So you would click that drop down, go to the dotted line boundary, click it, and hit save. And boom, there you go. Super simple. It'll outline the property for you. Now these lines are approximate. Obviously some of them are off, based on certain features. This tree line here obviously looks like the fence may be on the inside of it, but this is just an approximate outline boundary. You won't ever really know the actual boundary line without a survey or without stepping foot on the property. So this isn't set in stone. This is just approximate. So once you have created your boundary there, we can jump over here and I'll show you a couple features over here in this toolbar. So My map that I always use, this is just a few different options you can use over here. So you've got modern topo. You can turn that on. I don't ever use this, and I don't think you will either. You can do the street maps, infrared, vintage topo. But for the most part, you're either going to use the Google image map or the MB satellite. And the MB satellite just always comes back a little bit cleaner, so I would highly recommend just keeping it at that and leaving it alone. It also gives you the street names included with that feature. So yeah, MB satellite, that's what we recommend you use. Let's jump over here into overlay. So this is another section that you will use quite often when creating all these maps. As you can see through here, it gives you everything from airports to section, township, range. You can do the soil composition, opportunity zones, county lines, floodplain, city limits. You can do where the nearest school is, what school district it is. These are all things that all features that you're going to need to know prior to listing this property. So this does a lot of due diligence for you without you ever having to leave the comfort of your own home. You can do it right here from the computer, get all the information, and just makes your life a whole lot easier, especially when you show up to these listing appointments and you've already done your due diligence here on the computer and you already know the answer to a lot of these questions just by clicking some of these overlays here. Just helps you stand out a little bit more when you are talking to these sellers for the first time. So go through here, play with these, and I promise you when you go into these listing appointments or buyer appointments, you will come off a lot more professional, a lot more prepared, and that's the name of the game. Let's click a couple of them here. I don't believe there's a floodplain on this property, but just say you're wanting to know. This is something you always need to check, especially if there's a creek or river running through the property or nearby the property. You always want to turn this on because there is a chance that there's part of the property wherever that creek or river may touch or run near that is part of a flood zone, and that is can cause you problems down the road if you don't have that already figured out up front. So you can turn on the floodplain. As you can see, this is a floodplain here and down in here. So you're good on a floodplain. Let's say you want to know what school district it is. So it would give you an outline. And so you see that you are in Glencoe Public Schools is where this parcel is located. Soil composition, we will dive into this a little bit deeper in another video, but this is a good thing to have and know, especially when you are representing a seller that's wanting to sell off some farm ground. You will need to know this information. You want to know what section, township, range, you turn that on. Water features, it'll usually highlight whether there's maybe a wet weather creek like here or a pond like there is such here in the middle. So very cool features over here. I suggest you guys hop on here and play with them. Let's go down to the Mapright features. And these are just little things that you can add to dress up your map a little bit better. It just, like I said, makes you come off a little bit more professional, especially when you're copying these URLs and putting them in your Lands of America listing and people are interacting with these maps. It'll show you anything and everything there is about the property versus them trying to figure it out from pictures and your Mapright map. So let's just say the gate is located down here on the southwest corner on how to get into the property. So this is a good thing to know if you're especially sending this map to a potential buyer or an agent representing a buyer. You're going to want to send this to them, and it just lets them know how to get in and out of the property. Makes their life so much easier so they can show your property properly and give you the highest chance of bringing you an offer. So you would click that there, and then it would automatically save to your map. Let's say there's a spring on the property right here with the that feeds this pond. You could put that feature in there. There's deer blinds on it. You've got one back here, and then you've got another one, down in here somewhere. So just some cool features to add. You can play around with these. I suggest you use them. Just like I said, make sure your map dress up a little bit better and look professional. So once you've done that, you've created your map, you've got all your features located on there, and you're ready to save this. you would go down here to Save As. And how we save these maps is by the last name, which is usually stated second on here. It's usually first then last name. On a lot of these, sometimes it can be backwards, but this one's Robert Morris. So Morris would be how we would save it, and you know it's a quarter, so you would say Morris 160, and then you would type in the county, and this would be Payne County, and then that's how you would save it. You can also enter the address or the acres and county here as well. I usually just save it as this and hit save. So it'll reboot, and that'll let you know that you've saved your map. And so give it a little bit here. And there you go. So once you've done that and you're finished with your map, you're ready to launch it, you would go back to the dashboard, locate that map here, and I know that I want to save this into my agent folder, so I would move to my folder, click that little checkbox there, hit select, and it'll automatically put it in my listing or map folder. And then you've got it located here. This is a good way to keep all your stuff organized. This is an important step that if you do forget, it's just going to cloud it up down here, and it's going to be a little bit harder to find. So always save it under your folder, and you guys are good to go.